So many great stories to get through. I hope you are very well. We've got the real reason behind the collapse of Meghan Markle's retail business as ever, plus an update on King Charles's brave cancer battle. But first, it's very clear that Meghan Markle is as fake as a $9 bill. And further evidence emerges today, courtesy of her latest post on the social media site Instagram. By the way, it is a complete miracle that she has any time to raise the children or run her so-called business, because she lives on that thing. And she may regret oversharing on this occasion, because her latest effort to cast herself as a homemaker and gifted gardener has backfired horribly. The image she shared features the couple's rescue dog, Mia, no problem, lovely dog, and a pristine basket of produce, an absolutely picture-perfect postcard image of vegetables that are in such good condition they seem almost not real. So what are the vegetables? Well, we have broccoli, carrots, corn, red peppers, squash, spring onions, and assorted herbs. Maybe Meghan is gathering more of her toxic flour sprinkles, who knows? So at first glance, it's quite a cute social media post. The beagle, Mia, is adorable. And the caption is fun. Meghan writes, the unofficial quality inspector of this morning's garden haul. So she's talking about the dog. The dog is inspecting the quality of the vegetables. Lol. My sides are splitting. Now let's just repeat what she said. The unofficial quality inspector of this morning's garden haul. She says garden haul, right? This is Meghan's daily harvest. So an entire harvest in one basket. So Meghan Markle is advertising to the world that she has just scooped all of these vegetables, which are perfectly intact and strangely photogenic, from her own garden, all at the same time in late May. All ripe, all immaculate. And here's the thing, this produce appears to be cleaner than Jerry Seinfeld's stand-up act. But the public, on point and allergic to BS as ever, have exposed the Duchess's lies. So lots of people have been on social media. They've been on Reddit, where I find you get a lot of truth bombs. I read Reddit. Do you know my favourite place to get material and to get information is the comment section of the Mark Dolan Show? Because the comments here, they're not part of the show. They are the show. Because this show belongs to us. It doesn't belong to me. It belongs to us. So I love your comments. Reddit is nearly as good. And on Reddit, the public have been saying, everything is perfectly clean. Who is harvesting corn in May? Another one says, Meghan is so good at gardening, she can grow all things from all seasons at once. Another says, no dirt. These vegetables look like they came straight from Whole Foods, which is an outstanding US supermarket. So critics have actually had a look at this, right? And some farming experts who understand nature have looked at the chronology of her little vegetable haul, okay? And let me tell you, there's some problems here, because we've got farmers that have looked at the California growing calendar. Corn, which is in the basket, is usually harvested from June to September. She's got the corn in May, and it's perfect. Broccoli, the season for broccoli ends in April, which is a month ago, but the broccoli in her basket today is perfect. It's got to be perfect. Too many people take second best. Well, I won't take anything less. It's got to be perfect. Seriously, the broccoli would be brown by now. The broccoli season in California ends in April. It's now the end of May. Make it make sense. So, the corn's not ready, but it looks perfect. The broccoli's gone off, but it's edible. Squash and peppers don't generally peak until June, which is another 4 weeks from now. So they ought to be the wrong colour and inedible. But Meghan's basket is perfezione. C'est parfait. Das ist perfekt. So one skeptic, and I love the skeptics, because you guys are quite skeptical in the comments, and that's important. It's very important to be skeptical in life, isn't it? It's very important to question things and not be fed narratives and be fed information and not be fed nonsense by wealthy, privileged people like Meghan Markle, who pretends her life is so perfect, but when she reveals the details, none of it stacks up. So this basket, demonstrates that Meghan is a basket case, and it is a basket of lies. Because it's impossible for the vegetables all to be ready at the end of May, even though a lot of the things in the basket are out of season, and crazily clean. How is that possible? So one skeptic said, the only place I see all of that in season is the grocery store produce section. The photo was perceived by some as another example of Meghan's overly curated image. One viewer noted, it's too perfect. Well, didn't I say that? It's got to be. Meghan doesn't do mess, is what they said. So here's the point. And this is why I spent so much time analysing With Love, Meghan, which is her horrific 8-part Netflix lifestyle series in which she pretends to be a cook, pretends to be a great friend, pretends to be a good human being. So in that show, she couldn't help but reveal her true vicious narcissistic nature. And with these Instagram posts, she cannot help but reveal herself to be an outrageous liar. That basket is not real. I'm not even sure. I think that could be plastic vegetables. Like I said earlier, a few minutes ago, they seemed almost not real. Like AI food. Maybe photoshopped in. Do you know what Photoshop is? It's a computer software where you can just generate anything that's not there and just make it real and you stick it on a photo. This whole thing could be Photoshopped, but you know as well as I do, there's no way that vegetable selection would be so clean coming straight out of the garden and all ready to eat at one time of the year. That's not how it works with the seasons, because you have to wait, don't you, for your Brussels sprouts and your strawberries and your raspberries. You have to wait for your blueberries and your spring greens. I will say, I know nothing about nature and I know nothing about gardening. I know nothing about the seasons whatsoever. And Mrs. Dolan quite likes the frozen vegetables, which means we have the produce all year long, which I don't mind. But I know nothing about gardening. But that's why I don't post about it on Instagram or come on my show and tell you a load of nonsense about how busy I've been in the garden. Why would I do that? Why would I fabricate an image of myself to you? What is the point? What is to be gained? I'd rather you had Dolan, warts and all, hashtag the real thing, hashtag Dolan unfiltered, right? What you see is what you get. There isn't time to fake it. Was it Mark Twain that said the problem with liars is they need an incredibly long memory? They do. I haven't got that brain power to be a liar. It's much quicker to be myself. Why can't Meghan be herself? And why does she now have to sell this image of herself as the Earth Mother? Meghan's not an Earth Mother. She's one mother. Let me tell you. Mamma mia. But she is not an Earth Mother. And actually, I think if she was anywhere near a plant, it would just wither instantly. Like the witch in The Wizard of Oz. I think she could just smile at some celery and it would explode. I think she could grin at an avocado and it would just become smoke. It would just like that. I really do. I think she could bring a grape to tears. That is how terrifying this woman is. And she is no gardener. I'm not having it. Now, the dog is lovely. I don't wish to criticize the dog because the dog has been implicated here. The dog has been leveraged like everyone in Meghan's life, right? Lily and Archie, they get leveraged. By the way, we on this show, if you're new to the show, you're so welcome. On the Mark Dolan Show, we don't use the word Lilibet because that is a stolen name that belongs to Queen Elizabeth. And it is the nickname for Elizabeth going back to when she was a little girl, when she couldn't say her name correctly and she said Lilibet and it stuck. And her beloved husband, the Prince Philip, he called her Lilibet and everyone that loved her and knew her called her Lilibet. It was a name that belonged to her. It was Elizabeth's IP. Do you know what IP is? Intellectual property. Belonged to Elizabeth. How dare they take Elizabeth's pet name and call their daughter Lilibet? It's not Lilibet's fault. Fabulous little girl. I wish her well. But we ain't calling her Lilibet on this show. We call her Lily, and even that sticks in the craw because it reminds me that the name is stolen. By the way, Meghan, I'm not only dishonest, but a thief. Confessions of a Female Founder, that's her terrible podcast. That's a stolen name. American Riviera Orchard, cancelled because of copyright issues because it was too similar to the name of another company. As Ever, a New York fashion brand, which Meghan stole. There's no end to this woman's capacity to take things that are not hers. So it's outrageous. So the dog has been leveraged, right? So Lily and Archie, they've been leveraged. They're permanently on Instagram now. Meghan is so worried about young people and social media, so concerned about her privacy and the privacy of her own children, that she puts them on the internet almost every day. Make it make sense. And she's leveraged Harry, obviously. Harry has been the original meal ticket. An unknown actress comes to the UK and she convinces Harry to marry her. He falls in love. She love bombs him like all narcissists do. It's called love bombing. And what she does is stares into his eyes like the snake from the Jungle Book. Do you remember with the eyes going twirly, whirly, whirly? It's just, I can't sing Disney because it will cost the show £1 million in royalties. And then we'll have to have a crowdfunder just to keep me on air. So let's not sing Disney. I think I'm fine singing Elton because I feel like I'm in the Elton inner circle, if that doesn't sound obscene. I think Elton knows that the Mark Dolan Show is friendly fire. I'm happy for this show to be a mouthpiece for Elton John's genius. I'm happy for this show to represent the idea and principle that Elton John is the greatest composer of the 20th century. So look, Mia is a lovely dog. 9-year-old beagle rescued in 2022 from a lab testing facility in Virginia. But here's the thing, right? Mia. Was Mia happy or happier? Right? This dog, Mia. Do you think this dog was happier, actually, at the lab facility being injected 10 times a day? Do you think that was actually more pleasurable than living with my head ache? Oh, achy boy. Is it possible that living in a cage and being experimented on and having stuff put in your eyes and having limbs removed and being the ultimate guinea pig, is that actually more relaxing and pleasurable than living in a 16-bathroom Montecito mansion with the parasitic, psychotic Meghan Markle and the world's least happy millionaire, Prince Harry? I honestly think that dog Mia got into the Montecito mansion. Montecito! I think that the dog went into this mansion, and after 2 days of having Meghan make these weird, unhealthy biscuits did you see that on the TV show? She made biscuits for the dog with honey and oats. That's really bad for a dog. You know, so they like meat. They are carnivores. They want a ribeye steak. They don't want biscuits with honey. I was horrified when I saw that. And I think that this dog, Mia, after 2 days at this Montecito mansion is like, get me back to the lab now. Get me back in that cage. I can't listen to Prince Harry moaning about his terrible life and how he had a fight with his brother and his dad didn't love him. Get me back to the lab. Get me injected. I want to be experimented on. Cut me open. I can't watch Meghan Markle fail at cooking one more time in that kitchen of hers, dropping pans and burning milk and poisoning everyone with her toxic flour sprinkles. Enough already with the flour sprinkles. Get me back. Get me back in that cage. Get me back to the facility. Get me back to the scientists. I'd rather be experimented on for the next 5 years of my life than sit there in this marble-clad mansion with these two lunatics who consider themselves human beings. I think Mia the dog was... And by the way, I'm not a fan of these labs. Animal cruelty is the worst thing ever. It is the worst thing ever. It's evil. And I don't like these labs. I think they're gratuitous. Okay, it's necessary for medication and stuff like that. I get it. But, shampoo, trivial stuff, no. Completely unacceptable. But I'm just saying that by contrast to with this evil lab, I think that this gilded cage that is the Montecito mansion is arguably far, far worse. I mean, let me tell you, I'd rather... Have you heard about those jails in... Is it El Salvador? That's right. El Salvador fixed their crime problem. Do you know about this? They fixed their crime problem by putting all criminals in prison who are suspected of a crime. And basically anyone with tattoos is just like, went to jail just in case. They literally, in El Salvador, they put men that had tattoos in prison just in case they were bad. So I don't think they, had your full kind of legal protection there. I think if I look at the detail, and I haven't studied the detail, but I understand that the tattoos in particular, any gang tattoo, you went to jail. Now that's very unfair. I'm in the UK. You guys are watching in the United States. You're watching in Canada. You're watching in New Zealand. You're watching in South Africa. You're watching in Australia. You're watching in Italy, France, Germany, Romania. This is a truly global show. Mexico, Nigeria. All of these countries have the rule of law and due process, and I'm a big fan of that. But in El Salvador, they're like, let's just put people with tattoos in prison. Anyone that looks dodgy, walking down the street, in the van, lock them up. I can't defend it, but an interesting thing happened, which is that crime went through the floor. Crime completely dropped. And the jails, the reason they've been able to do it, as you know, jail is very expensive. I think in the UK, it costs maybe $40,000 a year to put someone in jail. You could actually save money and send criminals to Eton, where Prince Harry was educated, and it would be cheaper than what it costs to put someone in prison in the United Kingdom. El Salvador don't bother with that. They don't have flat screen TVs and pool tables and all the rest of it. You have about 30 or 40 men in each cell, and they are cheek by jowl. It is a squash and a squeeze, let me tell you. It's unedifying. I would rather, personally, I'd rather be in an El Salvador jail with 50 heavily tattooed gangsters than spend one overnight stay in Harry and Meghan's Montecito mansion and have to probably risk food poisoning from one of her rather decorative meals and be bored to tears by listening to Harry and his war stories about how many Taliban he took out and how many fights he had with his brother, which, by the way, he always loses. He shouldn't have mentioned that he had a fist fight with his brother because he lost it, because he's a complete weakling. And William took him down. He has a physical fight. I'm not condoning violence, but if you're going to write about it in the book, it should be a successful story in which you knocked his lights out. But no, the story is, oh, my brother and I had a fight, and he punched me, and I fell on the floor and cried. Poor old Prince Harry, world's least happy millionaire. Of course, William won that fight because William is lean and strong and sinewy with a high muscle mass and a low body mass index. High muscle mass, low fat. Perfect. And what happened is Prince William, they had a fight. Prince William took him down. He took him down to Chinatown is where he took him. Prince William took Harry down. He took him down to Chinatown. Because actually, Harry loses all the fights in his life. No wonder he's the spare. He's actually the perfect spare. I'm so glad he's not going to become king. How terrible would it have been if that prodigal prince was actually the first in line to the throne? I mean, it would be a nightmare. I would have left Britain by now. I would have sought comfort in one of your homes around the world. I know that if I was in trouble, you would take me. I know you would. I've read the comments. This is a family now. This is a community. And if I was in trouble, if I was on the run, I know that one of you in New Zealand or Australia, United States, Canada, the United Kingdom, rural England, Wales, I know that one of you would take me. I think a few might. If I was in trouble, would you accommodate me? Because you see, I need protection because here I am dropping truth bombs. And there are people that will want to take me down and they'll want to take me down to Chinatown. And I need your protection to prevent that. It's true, People don't like the truth. And that's all I'm here is to tell you the truth about the likes of Meghan Markle and Harry. These privileged aristocrats and wealthy people who have amazing power, amazing influence. And it's okay for me to use this platform and take them down a peg or two. I think I should. And that's what I'm here to do. And you're going to help me do it. By the way, in the comments, everything you think about the show, let me know what you think, what you love, what you don't love. And also, everything you think about the Sussexes, put it in there. Don't hold back. Don't hold back, because the comments section of the Mark Dolan Show is the home of free speech. And I want to hear what you've got to say. And I don't care how unpalatable your opinions are, because in my view, there are no unfashionable opinions. I think every opinion is valid, and each and any one of you could be right at any time. No one. I used to say this on my old show during the that global health crisis, when there was a lot of, if you thought the wrong thing, you were cancelled. You spoke out. You're like, are we sure we should be doing this? Is it entirely wise? If you said that at the time, you were a bad person. And that's why I feel very strongly that no one has the monopoly of truth. No one has the monopoly of wisdom. No one has the monopoly of empathy. Least of all, Harry and Meghan, who I think, I'm just going to say it now, I think are a pair of phonies. So, the dog is called Mia, 9-year-old rescue beagle. I will say that this is the one good thing that Harry and Meghan have done, is that they adopted Mia. And that is great, because I was joking about the cages and the injections getting cut open. I was joking, right? Because my sense of humor. But, of course, they're terrible and it's horrific. And I wish that those labs didn't exist. So well done, Harry and Meghan. There you go. See, this show is not an echo chamber. Well done, Harry and Meghan, for adopting Mia and giving her a better life, right? It's a great thing. The Sussexes featured Mia in their 2023 Christmas card alongside their Lily and Archie, not Lilibet. That's a stolen name. And it's a gorgeous thing. But let me tell you, I think that one of the reasons why she's put this post out today, which has destroyed her credibility, because there's no way that all those vegetables were ripe from her garden. They're not from her garden. She has been to Walmart. Are you familiar with Walmart? A great American supermarket. The Americans, by the way, they know how to do a supermarket. I'll tell you who can also. Do you know who also does a supermarket very well? The French. The French do a great supermarket. C'est parfait. Je crois que les Français, les gens de la France, c'était l'invention de la France. Je crois que l'idée d'un supermarché, c'est une française idée. Je crois. Je crois que le premier supermarché, c'était en France, pas en Amérique ou les États-Unis ou Grande-Bretagne. Anyway, listen, I've lost. You know, the great irony is at that point, I've lost anyone that didn't speak French. I suspect I've also lost anyone that did speak French. I think I've lost everyone with that brief detour. I believe that the supermarket concept, I believe it's French. Didn't the French start supermarkets with the hypermarket, the hypermarché and all that? Anyway, I do love food shopping in France. C'est parfait. It's got to be perfect. So, that food came from Meghan's basket, came from a supermarket or a farmer's market. It's been washed, it's been cleaned. It has not come from her garden in Montecito, California. I'm sorry, I'm not having it. She's posted this to distract from the fact that her business empire has collapsed, which, by the way, has been covered at length in the previous video. So I'd recommend you check it out if you haven't already. As ever, launched, she pretended that she'd sold out because she had 11 jars of jam, which sold out in 45 minutes. That was a retail miracle, apparently, and this was the beginning of something. And then we had 2 months of no stock, and now she said, well, that's probably it. She may bring back the jam in 2026, which is 6 months from now. She may not. She might go into fashion. The woman is a rank amateur, and it's all about public perception, which is why, to mask her deep embarrassment about the As Ever brand collapsing before it's even started, this is what she's done. She put the Instagram image out of her gardening and the dog Mia in order to distract from the huge embarrassment. this is what happens in politics. In the UK, there's an expression where the politician says, today is a good day to bury bad news. So what happens, I can't remember what the story was, but there was some awful tragedy in Britain. Something really terrible happened. It might have been, who knows what, but it was a mass casualty situation. I don't know what happened. Some attack. It wasn't good. It was very sad. Can't remember what it was. Anyway, but a politician memoed to their team saying, let's release this unpopular policy today because it's a good day to bury bad news. And that is what this rather cynical politician said. And that's how Meghan thinks. She's done this post to disguise from the epic failure of her As Ever brand, which has ended before it even started. And the reason why it's happened is because she's completely incompetent. See, I think that Meghan is actually a lunatic. I think she's insane. I think she's mad. I think she's unhinged. I think she's mercurial. I think she's got psychotic tendencies and narcissism. She's got the whole thing. She is not a very functioning human being, in my view. I think she's all over the place. I think she is ADHD central. I think she is the queen of ADHD, which is attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, I think. She can't focus on one thing. The only thing she can do is her creepy calligraphy, which many of you have pointed out is not actually calligraphy. It's just kind of crazily accentuated fancy handwriting. So she's all right when she gets like classic ADHD, actually. When she gets one task to focus on, she's pretty good. But she can't stick with anything. She's a lunatic. So the As Ever brand has collapsed because she can't focus. She's just like, like a 3-year-old, really, like a toddler. Just, I'm painting with crayons and now I'm eating some biscuits and now I'm crying. And, this is how toddlers are. Meghan is no different. So As Ever has collapsed because Meghan can't do it. She hasn't got it in her. She can't see things through. She's fine on the Netflix show because she's got 80 people around her, a team of 80. Can you believe the show was that bad with that many people? And she's got a structure. She's got a producer and she's like, okay, we're going to get you to heat up the milk, Meghan. Then you're going to do your flour sprinkles. It's all very structured. The With Love Meghan Netflix show was no different to the TV drama Suits. Because she was in Suits and she had a script and she had lighting and she had camera angles and she had an editor and words to work with. So that TV show, her own TV show with the real Meghan, was the same thing. It was scripted, edited, completely fake. So Meghan cannot be real because she isn't real, and she can't stick with anything because her brain she's like a goldfish. It is not. She's got a certain something, old Megs. First of all, she's got will. All right, she's got drive. I respect that. She does. I know you hate it when I'm nice about Meghan, but she does have drive. She does. She's based upon very little talent and the rest of it. She has clawed her way to the top, right? Let's be nice about Meghan for 1 minute. She's got drive. She convinced Prince Harry to marry her. What a fool he was. But she love-bombed him. The Jungle Book snake, right? It bloody worked. And I'm family show. Please be careful. But I'm just going to say it because I think it. And if I think it, I'm going to tell you because I owe it to you to tell you what I think. And I think that for their courtship, when I mentioned the love bombing, which is about total affection, agreeing with everything he says, facilitating it, and she's like, I love polo too. Oh, I love drinking beer too. Oh, I love hearing your war stories. That's love bombing. It's when you pretend to be really into the other person and you just like non-stop agreeing with them, facilitating, it's a one-way. You basically give the other person a blank check and they just think, oh my God, this is the greatest human being I've ever met. And you could see that Harry was the victim of love bombing early in that relationship because he was completely awestruck by her. He was in awe of her. He was in love with her. And he was stupefied at how incredible she was. Stupefied. He couldn't believe it. And that's because it wasn't real. It's love bombing. It's a technique to get control of someone. And I'm just going to say this now because I don't want to self-edit and I don't think I should. It's a family show, so I'll speak in very broad terms. But I suspect that for the first couple of years before they were married, it's my certain view that Meghan love bombed Harry in every department is all I'm going to say. You're all grown-ups. You've got your imagination. You're watching, ladies, you're women of the world. You know what I'm saying. Lads, boys, gentlemen, you know what I'm saying. I think that Meghan love-bombed Harry in every department. Should we just say in every department, in every room of the house? Have I made it crystal clear? And I think love bombing. And he's like, what is this? I have never experienced anything like this in my life. Because don't forget, before that, Harry was with these shy English roses, like Cressida, whatever face was. Remember lovely Cressida? What a beauty she was. Or the other one. He used to go for blondes, didn't he? In the good old days, he went for blondes. Cressida and Chelsea Davy, that was her, wasn't it? Who I took a flight with, not literally. Let's not get carried away. I was on an airplane that she was also on. I turned right, she turned left. You're welcome. And lovely girl, real beauty. I looked at her waiting for her bag after a long haul flight from South Africa, where I went to 2 weddings in Johannesburg and Cape Town. What a beautiful country. And at the end of a long haul flight, she was still absolutely beautiful. Chelsea Davy. What was Harry thinking getting rid of her? She would have been perfect wife material. But Chelsea Davy, Cressida bonus. There you go. See, there's my royal knowledge. That name was sitting in the back of my head. Cressida bonus. Both beauties, both dated Prince Harry, both made him happy. But they won't have done any love bombing because they're sort of, these shy English roses. So they'll have been normal and they'll have been restrained, maybe even a bit shy, maybe quite modest. Quite modest in every department, in every room of the house. They might have been a bit more modest, a bit more hesitant, a bit more shy, a bit more standoffish, a bit more traditional, a bit more discreet. So when Meghan comes, he just doesn't know what hit him. And that's how she got him. And she took him down, to Chinatown. But anyway, what I think happens, so there you go, that's my theory. It's the love bombing theory. I think that's how she got Harry. That's how she got the H-bomb. And the rest is history. Then, by the way that these narcissists work is that once they've got the ring on your finger, once the marriage is done, suddenly the mask comes off and there's no more love bombing and it's me, selfish. And I doubt that Harry is treated now the way he was in those first couple of years, is all I'll say. I doubt that the nature of their marriage is in any way comparable to how it was when they met. But there you go. Pretty tough truth bombs from Dolan today. I'm sorry. I can't dress it up any other way. So just quickly, I think that's why the brand has collapsed, is because Meghan is chaotic and she's an amateur. She's not entrepreneur. She's not focused. She can't do it. Her only talent, like I said, is that she's good at getting what she wants. She's got amazing drive, amazing will. Her story is incredible, folks. It is. So we're just being nice about Meghan for a second. The other thing I'd say about Meghan, she is a beautiful lady. Let me know in the comments, is Meghan Markle beautiful? I'm putting it out there, and many of you will disagree. Some of you might get quite cross with me for saying that, because I've seen it in the comments. Many of you don't think that Meghan is a beauty. I will say I think she's a stunning woman. I think she's a pretty girl, and she's in her early 40s now, and I think she's a good-looking woman. But what do you think? By the way, looks don't matter, but she's a public figure, and it's how we're all judged, aren't we? Even I'm judged. By the way, can I apologize for the rather shiny skin today? We're having a mini heat wave in London. And I am positively cooking with gas. Can I just say, though, that it's very good practice for my trip to the United States this summer, where the Mark Dolan Show is going on tour. By the way, I've had so many comments, and lots of you want me to get to Oklahoma. I would Texas, Alaska. Somebody said, are you coming to Alaska? Unfortunately, I don't have the air miles, but so we're hitting some of the major states, which is New York, California, Nevada. Obviously, I'll be in Montecito, quite rightly. But anyway, there are lots of places where I'm going to be. And that is coming. And it'll be hot because it's the summer. So I guess this is good acclimatization for my US tour. So what I'm planning to do, hopefully, all being well, is I will do a daily video across America, from different parts of America, in Death Valley, hopefully, and Vegas, Sin City, all these different places. You will get daily videos from amazing spots in America, including California, including the world capital of Harry and Meghan. So I'm looking forward to that. But anyway, so that is it with Megs. Is she beautiful? Let me know in the comments. But that's not how we judge people on the Mark Dolan Show. We judge people by the content of their character, by the way. Don't we? But Meghan's incompetent. She's chaotic. And I'll give you the other reason why her business collapsed. She needs control. She has to run everything. And those people, as you know, are weak. Look at Richard Branson, British billionaire. And they said, how do you make money? How are you so successful? He said, I hire great people. Richard Branson is good at employing other people who are very good at what they do, and then the business is successful. Isn't that modest of Branson? Of course, he's a genius himself, but his big thing is he hires great people and then lets them get on with it. Meghan's a control freak. She's the complete opposite. Don't forget, there were rumors that she sends staff members emails at 5 a.m. and expects a quick response. It's insane and it's terrifying. So that is the issue, and I have it on good authority from Richard Eden, the excellent columnist in the Mail Online, who spoke to a palace insider in relation to Meghan's collapse business. And this palace insider said Meghan made it clear from the very beginning that she did not always welcome advice. Well, she won't have advice because she is a control freak. She's obsessed, folks. Absolutely obsessed. She will not let it go. Folks, before we go, I've got some very good news about King Charles, which is that his trip to Canada has been a colossal success. And we have news about his health. And this is courtesy of the Mail Online, which is a great resource for royal stories. And a senior palace aide has told the paper that Charles is very much looking forward to the next stage of his reign. The next stage. So this is, because we're desperate, aren't we, for information about his health. And he's 76 years of age. He's battling cancer. But a palace insider has told the Mail Online that he's looking forward to the next stage of his reign. And that's so great that Charles is looking to the future. That's great news considering that his own son, Harry, consigned him to a death sentence, essentially saying, I don't know how long my dad's got, which is a shocking thing to say about your own father. Charles is continuing weekly treatment for cancer, which was diagnosed in February 2025. So that's, the most awful story. And the palace source said, the thing you learn about this illness is that you just manage it. And that is what Charles does. Medical science, says the insider, has made incredible advances, and I genuinely see no difference in the king. And this insider goes on to say, as long as you just do what the doctors say, just live your life as normal as possible, that is exactly what the king is doing. They go on to say, it's no secret that King Charles is still having treatment, but because he's incredibly fit, he's just dealing with it all incredibly well. And isn't that a wonderful thing? Now, isn't that great news? So King Charles is looking forward to the next stage in his reign. Long live the king. He's got cancer. We don't know his prognosis. Is it being managed? Can he get in remission? Can it be reversed? We don't know. I don't know. You don't know. Those are things that only the king and his oncologist will know. The rest of us don't know, and we will never know. So I pray for his full recovery. But what we know as a matter of fact, and we deal with facts on the Mark Dolan Show, is that he is receiving treatment. It's clearly helping him, and he's looking forward to the future, looking forward to the next stage of his realm. And isn't that great? Let's hope we have years and years of King Charles in the job, because he waited so long, and I want William to enjoy his young family and not be thrust into that limelight and have that responsibility just yet. I think that the king, it's his absolute destiny to lead this country, lead the Commonwealth, and lead it he will, hopefully for many years to come. Folks, I cannot wait to see you for the next video. There will be another video tomorrow because the stories are building up as we speak. Please subscribe, like if you can, and hit the notification reminder bell so that you're alerted when a video drops. I cannot tell you what it means to be in this partnership with you, this community that we're growing, this broadcasting revolution that we're building. So many more days, weeks, months, and years to come. I couldn't do it without you. See you for the next one. Stay awesome.